4 times 450, engine 2s. 4 times 533, engine 2s. And they just have more torpedoes. So yeah, these are just really old. So let's choose one of these that we want the tier 1s to be. K3s have a 1 and the 1. The 09 has a 1 and 2. So the K3s need to upgrade to 09s. Recommission. And then the K14s are my best ship. Best submarines. Right. You guys are all 09s. You're a K3. What the hell is a K3? Oh, was the K3 the old one? It was, wasn't it? Yes. So the K3 upgrades to an 09. Go. Why did you not go? You did. Right, and here, for some reason these upgrade buttons are now actually appearing. Upgrade. 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 Done. Fleet should now be upgraded. Or upgrading. Why are you suffering heavy attrition? Because you're training. That's fine. Actually, how is your training going? Have you finished? You guys are finished, so stop training. And now I think I am going to have you making angry noises towards Belgium, because why not? The Second London Naval Treaty has been signed. Delegations from Britain, France, Italy, Japan and the US met in December of 1935 to discuss a renewal of the First London Naval Treaty, which restricted the number and size of cruisers and submarines. Negotiations turned quite heated over Italy's war in Ethiopia and Japan's desire to be seen as equal to Britain and the US. With negotiations now at an end, the signatory nations have agreed on limits to the size of battleships and aircraft carriers in the hopes of preventing another ruinous arms race. More money for the army, then. And yes, we can get rid of the older one by unchecking this. Except apparently that doesn't get rid of the ship. Well, I guess, yeah, the base hulls aren't necessarily a bad one. It would be nice to be able to just switch those off, though, because right now they're just cluttering. We don't need you anymore. You don't exist. And the Javas... Another nice thing that would be on this screen is how many of each I have. So the Javas currently have no armor. So the Javas should be similar to the Hakon Longbeards. Except they've actually got an extra gun. No, they don't. I just did it as a secondary, they did it as one of those. So the Javas should upgrade to Hakon Longbeards because they don't have armor. Can I please do that? Why are the Von Carlins now appearing? There is no upgrade for you. You can become a Von Kent, but why can't the Von Kents become Von Carlins? Whatever. It's fine. We'll work with it. Now, is there anything that I need to be doing with this army naval experience? Because we have tons. And right now, I don't think we do. So, like, you lot can probably stop drilling. You lot can stop drilling. You lot can stop drilling. You lot can stop drilling. Because I think that 97 naval experience is going to be more than enough for the things I want to do. How's the research coming? Okay, we've got basic machine tools. Now, here's a good question actually. Dispersed or concentrated? Because we are going to be in prime British bombing territory. Like, they're going to have no problems hitting us whatsoever. I actually want to go dispersed. Yeah, I agree. Let's go dispersed. And we are very nearly at maximum capacity for our fuel. So I really hope that I can start selling off surplus. We do have a little bit of political power. Hey, Germany. How's it going? Okay, so we've got the public works done. I think that we want to get the mast tunnel. Nordostpolder. All of these would be really nice. I'm just terrified of not having the government stuff done. You know what, 1937, I'm going to set that as my limit. So yeah, let's get the infrastructure going. You should build underwater industries. That way if you flood the land it doesn't ruin them. That would be nice. Just wonder with all the new DLCs for Paradox games how valuable the older DLCs are after the mechanics have changed. Some features listed in the DLCs don't exist anymore. I mean, that is a problem, especially for Europa Universalis where they have made some of those features free. But to Paradox's credit, they have added features to those DLCs. So for example, Cossacks, they got rid of estates being a paid feature. It's now a free feature, but they added Cossack governments, which you can only get if you have the Cossacks DLC. So they have tried to add a bit of a cost value thing, but I admit it's not always even. But that's a very difficult judgment to make. That's entirely a judgment, a value judgment. I just treat Paradox games like MMOs with a monthly sub cost. They kind of are. Yeah, they kind of are. Right, so how come you lot have no organization? Because you're being upgraded. Right? Right. Now I'm wondering, once these ships have been refitted, whether I'm going to need to send them out on naval exercises again. Probably, but I don't know for sure. How's war tension coming? What's Germany doing? Germany, what are you doing? The West Wall. That's your wall with me, isn't it? No, French border. Okay. I thought that was the Siegfried line. I don't think I've ever actually looked at the German tree since Waking the Tiger, where they got an overhaul. never played with them in vanilla. I just did Kaiserreich. Alright, so we have construction 1. So we're going to be building more, better, faster. We can get the next industrial tech 100% faster. And I think I'm going to go for the construction speed. I think that makes the most sense. We're going to use that to basically offset some of the Crisis Yaran. One thing which I think that CK2 DLC has got right compared to EU4 is a lot of CK2's DLC is regional and geographical changes. So without them, you physically can't play as, for an example, a Muslim, or you can't play as Byzantium. While with the DLCs, you are able to play as those factions, and it unlocks the special mechanics related to those factions. I think that is probably the right way to go. I mean, it would be difficult to do in EU4 because the selling point for EU4 is the ability to play as anyone. But that is something which I think has worked pretty well for CK2. Although I'm still waiting for the Pope DLC so you can play as the Pope. Or a Knightly Order. And there it is, Spanish Civil War. A civil war has erupted in Spain. Several generals seeking to overthrow the current government in Madrid have issued a pronunciamiento, and a large portion of the Spanish armed forces have answered their call to arms. This right-wing nationalist faction has occupied much of Spain, including overseas territories. So, if we are trying to align with Germany, I think we should probably try to support the nationalists if we can. Except this is where my neutrality is going to come in as a problem. And also just the fact that I don't have many political power points. Yeah, can't send them volunteers because of my aloof neutrality, which is like the worst neutrality. It's super severe. The old theology can work. If a Game of Thrones can make theology governments work, Paradox can surely. I don't really know why they haven't done it. I think it's because you're not guaranteed to have land. A lot of the, well, all of the mechanics are based on your dynasty still owning territory. And for example, a Knightly Order doesn't necessarily need to have land, but it still exists. But then you could just do it like the republics, where even if you don't own a county, you can still have your palace, which is like your headquarters. I don't really know why they haven't done that, so you can like establish a headquarters somewhere. Like Königsberg for the Teutons. Mast tunnel is done. So now I think we're going to go on and finish the Nordostpolder, and then once that is done, we're going to try and blitz down this so we can start the gateway to Europe and try to become Germanly aligned as soon as possible. After closing off the Zodensee by building the Afsluitdijk, and thereby creating the artificial IJsselmeer Lake, we must now finish the land reclamation project of the Nordostpolder. This will give us a better infrastructure and more room for industrial and agricultural expansion. I just realised I wasn't actually reading off these. We haven't. So the gold standard, refusing to drop the gold standard, has cost us tremendous resources these past years. Now that France has left the gold bloc, only the Swiss and ourselves remain. The time has come to allow the devaluation of the Gulden and to use the freed up resources to improve the sorry state of our defences. Public works. We must continue the great public works started in the late 1920s. The reclamation of land and the construction of new canals, roads and tunnels not only creates jobs but also serves to improve the nation. Then the Mast tunnel. Our great rivers are phenomenal obstacles, but by digging tunnels under them we can dramatically improve our infrastructure. The Mast tunnel will be the first of these, greatly improving accessibility to the city of Rotterdam from the south. Save up for a fascist demagogue. I don't think I can get one. Yeah, I have to have completed the Vulcan Vaderland, which is the Cave to Germany option. These refittings are taking a really long time. This ability to click and drag is so much nicer. And then let's reduce you down to that. And now the refitting should be a lot quicker. There we go, that's what the problem was. I need more dockyards too. Am I justifying a war yet? No, I'm trying to recover my absolutely critically devastated economy. The Croesus Yaren started as a minus 50% construction speed penalty. I've got it down to minus 20, but it is taking time. I still have the weak government too. No, the Dutch start with a lot of penalties. Games of the 11th Olympiad. The 11th Olympic Games were recently held in Berlin, Germany. Attended by athletes from 49 different nations across the world, the 1936 Summer Olympics are the first in history to have enjoyed limited live television coverage. The Games were a significant propaganda victory for the German regime, which spent lavishly on the event. And it looks like the refitted ships don't require retraining. You require retraining because you were badly damaged. Do I want to put you in a separate fleet to do that? Probably. Oh, that's cool. You can put them into smaller reserve fleets and then have them train individually. I like that. That's cool. So I can select you and I can select you. Reserve fleet. And then select reserve fleet, train. Sweet. And then can I send you back again? No. That's fine. Oh! Part of the training problem is probably manpower. Oh, and we lost a plane. Whoops. Stop training. Stop. Decisions are available. They are. Nation building, the Dutch East Indies. Daily political power cost reduced, Dutch East Indies increased stability, and they get democracy support. I'm going to say no, because I don't really know what I can expect from the East Indies. How much experience did you gain? How can I see that again? Zero percent, 0%. So they gain nothing from drilling. Okay, good to know. Although you guys are going to need retraining again once you have got your guns. We're only 1,600 short now, down from 3,200. So we've basically halved our deficit. Am I going to try and take some more coastline or not at all? I haven't decided yet. I mean, a lot of this depends on whether I can get on the Axis side. If I can, I probably will go for Belgium. If I can't, then things are going to be problematic, because I will have aligned fairly heavily towards Germany, only for them to probably backstab me. Alright, so did you finish rendering? You did. Oh, not rendering. We haven't even got that far yet. You were just composing, or whatever it's called. Sorry, having to do the YouTube editing stuff again. Some cut off. That there. Patrons. Is this number 3? Yes. Save. Export to encoder. 1080p. And this is for MTG. Hey Midge, how are you doing? And welcome to Midge's viewers as well. I'm just doing some editing and rendering live on stream right now. Trying to make sure I have something to put up on YouTube as soon as possible. Save as Dutch number 4. So who are you playing as? I know you were playing Hearts of Iron earlier. Sick war support though, yeah, I've like war support of 1% or something, isn't it? Can't actually see it right now. Okay, and one of the videos has actually finished rendering. That's a good example of how long that takes, by the way. We've been streaming for almost an hour since I started rendering it. And I'm going to experiment with starting an upload, but shout if you start getting a lot of buffering, because that's probably my uploading causing it. But I have a very good internet connection, so fingers crossed it can handle both. Unfortunately, there's no way of throttling it, at least not that I found. There probably is, I haven't looked very hard. Alright, so this is MTG 1. Copy. Alright, it's uploading. Dropping frames like crazy. Yellow, orange, green, green. Okay, I think there might have been like a second of buffering and now it seems to be okay. So yeah, just let me know how it looks. Like if it starts buffering a lot, then I will just cancel it. Man the Guns is bored and it took you 4 hours to realise. Oh man! How come? What happened? This is probably my favourite Hearts of Iron track, to be quite honest. Reminds me so much of last October. Being in Munich for Oktoberfest. DLC won't install. Have a word with Troy. I had the same problem. Yep, you have exactly the same problem as I do. Troy knows how to fix it. Just say you think you've got the same problem as Mordred, and can he help you? Oh, okay. Yeah. He knows how to do it, because he helped me. But it does require them to help. So you were playing with the Ironclad branch, but without Man the Guns expansion. So you did have like the fuel supply system, but you probably didn't have like the ship designer, I guess. To fix it, open a window, throw a computer out, cry in a corner. No, to fix it, get a new Steam account. Seriously. Alright, so we have another military factory somehow. Did I reduce my consumer goods? I don't think so. Oh, focus. That's how. Make me more guns. More better. Yeah, it was. Cool. Right, I would love to get some more military factories, but we really need to form a new government. Our current government is weak, and it is now on the verge of failing yet again. We must give a Prime Minister the task of forming a stronger cabinet. Sabaton is heir? Edwido? No. I still only have had one Steam account. Until today, I only had one. The problem is that you probably have the Season's Pass, and the Season Pass is not compatible with the DLC code that they give you. Because it recognises the fact that you already own the game, so when you try to apply the code for Man the Guns press release, it refuses to overwrite. That's what the problem is. So you need to have a new Steam account with a new game copy, and then the expansion will work. But like I said, have a word with them. They will... Not going to put words in their mouth, but hopefully they can help sort you out. The German Reich dominates Dutch trade negotiations. The Germans have expanded their influence over us to the point where we are forced to favour them in the current trade negotiations. Concerning? That's not concerning. This is good. Everything is going exactly to plan. Dispersed industry. Done. Mechanical computing, also done. Same day. Nice. Right, so it's 36. We don't have a bonus, so I'm not going to do that. We could get the basic fire control system. What the hell is direct to fire? I don't know what this does. I'm going to research it because I'm curious. Ah, here we go. All fire the ship's guns is controlled from a central position, ensuring a tighter grouping of shots and increases accuracy. Light attack plus 10%, heavy attack plus 10%, reliability minus 10%. Okay. And then anti-air plus 10%. So I assume that's a ship module? Yeah, we currently have fire control 0, which is lacking localization because it's not actually called fire control 0, it's the central range finding. But once we have that, we should have a second module that opens up here. So let's go ahead and research it because we want to have good ships. That is, after all, why I'm joining the Axis. And we probably also want to start upgrading our combat ability. So this is one of the areas where they've done kind of an interesting thing. You can spend naval experience, which is one of the reasons I've been drilling my ship so much, in order to get a technology quicker. So we could spend this 50 experience to get 150% bonus to research depth charge thrower, for example. Get improved float planes. We could get improved hulls, though that's going to be ludicrously expensive. Magnetic detectors, which would increase torpedo attacks. We do actually have quite a few torpedo ships right now. We could also really do with upgrading our... Actually, damage control, here we are. Or fire control. Fire control will mean extra damage for battleships and battlecruisers, neither of which we actually have. So yeah, I think we want the damage control. Now how do I elect... Oh, here we go, spend 50. Boop. And now I get fire control faster. Kind of rare for games to actually incorporate a language like Dutch, so that's really cool, to be honest. I didn't think it was that bad at all. That Obdochten is so bad, the intonations is weird. It's probably... yeah, accents. I don't know who recorded the voices. I'm not sure if it was a community thing they did, because I know that Paradox... I think it was during last ParadoxCon, actually. They had an offer for people to voice soldiers in the game, and then they would implement them. I have a feeling that's how they did it. Or it was the devs, because there are several Dutch devs on the team. I think that's how they got the French voices, for example, was community input. Either that or they got a dun 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 Belgian to do it. And construction 2 is done. So we are now well ahead of the curve in terms of producing that stuff. So I think that we desperately want to research the Fokker D-21 so we can actually start upgrading our Air Force. Because I am slightly concerned about what the RAF is going to do to us. Can I say if I like the DLC? No, not at the moment. Not until the embargo is up. Sorry, not the embargo, the preview is up. The embargo was this morning. How do you keep going to the top? Stop building the new ship and start upgrading the old ones. I'm sure I've tweaked that more than once now. I'm going to say use a maximum of one ship for each one. Yeah, that's the building the new ship. So this is the lowest of the low priority. These should be like 16 days each. And we have 3 civilian factories. All of the infrastructure has been built. Friesland to Brabant maxed out. Holland is going to get another one through focuses. So, boom. In that case, I'm going to improve the infrastructure, I think, of Curacao. Unless there's a focus that does that. Which would probably be over here. So that's 2. Just 2. So, construction, -2. Cool. And we have a bunch more decisions available now. Improved worker conditions will reduce output but increase stability. Stability is not terrible. We can ban fascism, we can ban communism. Region-wide industrial integration, which would add another building slot to Friesland. Or the nation building. Or we can wait a bit longer. Flipping hell, that's expensive. Hendrikus! Costing 50% more because of this joker. Economy laws cost. Ah, see, Mexico had a lot of those penalties too. Okay, so we really do need to wait until Hendrikus is gone before we can change the civilian economy mobilization laws. I'd also quite like to get rid of volunteer only. But we need a hell of a lot more war support for that, and that's not happening anytime soon. Alright. Shift click to max out building, handy tip, it wasn't working. That's why I had to do it manually. That's why I was kind of looking at it with angry face. Do I feel like the Mogulis? Don't know what you mean there, Katie. Will make the game a bit more grindy, especially for people who don't have navies versus those who do. Sorry, Kaylee. I don't know what you're saying there. Get rid of them all. I am the Senate. It's like 3 days and then he's gone. Form new government, gets rid of him. I'm so glad we got rid of the majority of the Crisis Yaran. That was a bad time. That was a bad time for everyone. Alright, so let's get the gateway to Europe. Makes it possible to give trade influence points to the Germans and to the British. The Netherlands is the gateway of trade into Europe, a fact that is well understood by our trade partners. Though, while our position gives us strength, it also puts us in an unenviable predicament. While the British aim to blockade their likely enemies on the continent, the Germans wish for us to increase the flow of trade to their country through ours, using it as a backdoor to avoid the blockade. New government is formed. The 5th Cabinet of Cologne is once again, like its predecessors, fallen, and the Minister of the State, Dirk Jan de Geer, has been asked to take up the responsibility for forming a new government. Having last served in 1933, he has proven his ability to serve his country in peacetime. With mounting world tension, however, it's unclear how the new Minister-President, wow, he got himself a promotion, Minister-President, will handle leading the nation in a war that looks increasingly more likely. The Democratic Party will now be called the Christelijke Historische Unie. Dirk Jan de Geer becomes the new leader for the Democratic Party, and he is a defeatist. Surrender limit minus 25%, war support minus 10%. However, we did get rid of weak government, and our stability has just skyrocketed, which is giving us factory output, dockyard output, and consumer goods usage, and also more political power gain. We're going to be actually generating quite a lot of political power. And we are 41 points away from early mobilization. Alright then. The Minister-President, King, Emperor of Holland. Ah, that's a suitable title. Oh, the modules, like the radar, fire control. Let me just see what the original question is. Do I feel like the modules will make the game a bit more grindy, especially for people who don't have the navies versus those who do? I don't think so. I think actually the ship design and module stuff adds a hell of a lot of flavour, and that's one of the things I'm the most excited about in this. The UI needs updating. That's the only thing. Have you switched around again? No. Yeah, that's the only thing that I am kind of concerned about. Is, like, I was really struggling earlier to work out why I have so many ship designs. Having a little bit more organization here would be great, and the ability to delete ship designs would be really nice. King, Wilhelmina is not amused. Well, Wilhelmina actually appears in this as the only man in the Dutch government, where she basically assumes direct control. And at that point, I should stop the YouTube recording. Bye, YouTube.